house that is haunted. Right from the start, dear, built on an acre of sand.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zada.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth. Welcome back, everybody. We're recording this on Mother's Day itself. And so if anything comes up about Mother's Day and it doesn't make any sense because it's over, that's why.
That's why.
And I escaped.
That's a pretty good little Mother's Day present for you.
I saw a TikTok today, and Zaylee and I were in the kitchen together, and I was making hot sauce, and we were like visiting, and I'm watching TikToks in between us visiting, and she's just in the room with me. And it was a woman, and she goes, listen, TikTok, or she said, Mother's Day is the most fake ever holiday. She goes, because let's be honest, we don't want to spend Mother's Day with our kids until they're adult kids, because we don't get to see them that much. On Mother's Day, we have our kids all the time. We want to spend our time with our girlfriends that are also mothers and give them a break. We want to spend time doing things we want to do, and we never get to do that. We have to do whatever they tell us to do. And I thought that was so funny. And she was like, and do I want to go to my mother-in-law's house and spoil her for Mother's Day? No, I don't, because I have to get my kids dressed and bathed and cute, and I probably have to bring a dish, and it's work, and it's Mother's Day, and why am I doing work for my husband's mother? He should have to do it. And I was like, if that's not the fucking truth. It makes
so much sense. We had our Mother's Day yesterday because they wanted to get it out of the way so that on Mother's Day, my mom could actually just chill. She didn't have to go anywhere or do anything.
That's so smart.
And I heard somebody talking, I think it was a radio host was sent a shout out to all the single dads who have their kids this weekend so the mothers can, don't have to deal with them. I was like, that's what's up. That's exactly it. Yes. Good job.
But in most Texas divorce decrees, and I don't know about other states, but Texas, if it's Mother's or Father's Day,
they get them.
I
know.
Yeah. But not everybody exercises that right.
It's very true.
And I mean, I'll have my kind of stepdaughter at my house today. Mm-hmm. I'm not her mom, but I mean, I am-ish, but I'm not. And she'll be at my house today. So I guess that says, it's not for everybody. But there's some dads in there, and Rick being one of them that is mom and dad. So like, I will occasionally on social media, thank on Mother's Day or Father's Day, the moms that are dad too, because there's a lot of them. But there are definitely a lot of men that are mom and dad as well, and Rick being one of them. And honestly, he had a whole group of them when I met him. That's kind of what I was attracted about him. Not only was he a full-time single dad, like that was his kid he took care of, like she wasn't in the picture really. But like his three best friends were the same way. They all were single dads with kids about the same age, and they were all amazing dads. And if that's not the most attractive thing,
I find that to be a very attractive quality.
I couldn't get enough.
That's something I really liked about Dante is that
Dante's a great dad
that he is, and he has his kids most of the time, and he doesn't mind. Like he jokes around with them, like, "Man, when you going to your mama's?" But he at the drop of a hat, he could take them over there, and then he'll go and pick them up. Yeah. We had a date night. We haven't had a date night in a really long time. And he was taking his kids to go to their moms this weekend. So he's taking them Friday night. And so he drops them off and we go and we're going to eat. We get to the restaurant and his son is already calling him like, "Hey, you're going to have to come pick me up. This is not going to work." And he's like, "Well, I will after dinner." So we had our dinner and then he went and picked him up.
And I'm dealing that right now with Zaylee because it is her last week of her senior year. And for a normal senior, that is, I don't care about my mom and dad and I want nothing to do with them. My senior is like, I am consumed by you. Don't leave my eyesight. Yeah. Because there's a lot of change going on. So her anxiety is kicked up because her whole world's about to change. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous about it too.
I bet.
So I get it where she's coming from. And so yesterday I went to get my hair done, and Erica,
it looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you. We actually look like we don't look like our picture, but we look, our cartoon characters are more accurate now because I'm way more blonde than I have ever been.
Yeah.
This might be the blondest. Erica's like, "What do you want me to do? I want to go blonde. I want to go blonde. I have a vision." I was like, "You know what? Do it. Whatever you want to do." She goes, "Well, you want to hear about it?" I was like, "No, I don't care.
Just do it.
I trust you." Yeah. She goes, "Okay, well, in winter, we're going to change it to chestnut." I was like, "Cool, whatever. I don't care." She's like, "You really don't?" I was like, "I trust you. Go." So I'm extra blonde right now. So yesterday I had my plans to go get my hair done with her. We were going to have lunch. That didn't work out. So we just got my hair done. And so I went up there to North Dallas. So when I say I went up there, it's like 35 minutes away to North Dallas in like bougie North Dallas. So I go up there. She doesn't work weekends usually. And she's like, she shows up in like her no makeup, she rolled out of bed. She's like, I just came here because you're my bitch. Like, we're doing this. She doesn't charge me. I tip her the fuck out, but because she's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I know what she's doing for me.
Yeah.
And I know she doesn't do it for many people. And so I show up. We have a great conversation. Honestly, that was the best time I've had in a minute. Like, we had such a good visit.
That's good.
And so we go up there and we get my hair done and I get my blonde hair. Zaylee can't handle it. Zaylee is losing her mind. So right before I leave the house, she's crying. I find her crying. And she was like, Mom, I know you're going to get your hair done. I know you're safe, but you're going to Dallas. And I'm scared about Dallas. And you have to think, these kids go through shooting drills. Like, the shit they go through as far as mentally, like.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Can you imagine growing up and you have to worry about if someone comes in as an active shooter? Like, as an adult, I go into Walmart and H-E-B and whatever, and I always have a plan.
Yeah.
And I know most people do. To get out, how to get out. Most Americans, not people, most Americans have a plan. If someone comes in as an active shooter, how do you get out? What's your plan? I don't take my kids to grocery stores and Walmart and Target very much because I want to worry about myself and not my kid getting shot, and that's horrible. And so school's extra horrible. So she was very, very worried about me, and she was really struggling. And so I was like, what am I going to do? Because I can't leave her there crying. I'll cancel, but I don't want to cancel because Erica's made time for me. And Zaylee doesn't want me to cancel. She knows she's overreacting. Mm-hmm. And, but I still can't leave like that, So I'm like, okay, what can I do? So I call Rick's daughter and I'm like, hey, your dad and I will pay for you, and I paid for Zaylee and he paid for his daughter. And I was like, we'll pay for y'all. And I would have paid for both if he wasn't going to do it. But I asked. He was like, no problem. And so I'll pay for y'all to get your nails done if you go get your nails done. Feet, hands, whatever you want to get done. If you will come pick up Zaylee and go entertain her so she's not hyper-focused on me being in Dallas. So she was like, hell yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I would have taken that deal. Oh, yeah. Give me that credit card.
In the middle of it, she called me and she goes, is it okay if we get something to eat? I'm like, you got your dad's card? Yep, go.
Swipe it.
I give permission. I'm the fun kind of stepmom.
See, that's what I like too.
Yeah, and so they went and did that, and Erica and I got my hair done, and I am blonde, and it is fun. I feel like I look younger.
You are summer ready, girl.
I'm summer ready. I need a better tan.
We need to go and lay out.
Definitely.
I already started. I got my base tan started, so I'm pretty excited about that.
I've been using tanning lotion with a self-tanner in it because I saw you and I got a little jelly. I was like, my ass will look better with a little sun tanny on it.
It's my favorite time of year is when summer starts coming in and I get a little bit of a tan. I just feel better in everything.
I know, right?
Just feel better in everything.
Everything.
I just do.
And now I'm a blonde. So I feel better in everything and I'm going to have a good time.
I know. You're going to have more fun than me.
I'm sorry for your luck this summer. And I'm serious. I really am feeling it. And I did not even know what I was getting until I got it. And then I came home and I thought Rick might object because he's not good with change. He's a lot like Zaylee. And I walked in. He was like, you look beautiful.
Oh, see? Good job.
I know. And I was like, thank you. And because he can fuck some shit up. He will say some stupid shit.
Yeah, we know.
But he didn't. He was like, you look beautiful. Because he doesn't like change. So I know he like practiced that.
Yes, probably in the mirror to make sure he got the facial expressions down, right?
Beautiful.
Now smile, but not too much. Okay.
Yeah, that's enough. Don't look any prettier because that's a problem. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so yeah, I'm blonde and feel very good and had a great conversation with Erica yesterday and had a great Mother's Day weekend.
Good. I miss her. I can't wait for our cabin time.
Neither can she and neither can I. And yesterday during our hair appointment, we have some planning going on. So I'm going to have to fill you in on that later. But she's like, I'm in it. And she was like, I trust Kelly, you and me most to clean that shit. Let's go. Because, okay, here's the deal. The cabin's clean.
Yeah, it is.
The problem is no one lives there. So we have a small problem with varmints. And it could be mice, like field mice, and it could be, I always forget the name, not sugar gliders. Why do I always want to call them that?
I don't know.
If you've paid attention, you know, ringtails.
Ringtails.
Okay, they're native to Texas, and they're protected species, and they're the cutest damn things.
They really are.
But they will fuck a house up.
No, you don't want to play with them.
So they had found their way into the cabin, and my brother and I worked before he passed away on getting rid of them. Then Rick and I worked on getting rid of them after, when Zoll was still alive, and then after Zoll passed. And we've pretty much gotten rid of the ringtails. I think they're gone.
Yeah.
There is still occasional mice. Like through the summer last year, it wasn't so bad because we were there a lot.
Yeah.
But once we're not there for a few months, that's when we have a problem.
They take back over.
And it's not huge. We're not finding nests or anything, but there's evidence of mice. And so we have to deal with that situation.
Yeah. So every time you go in, you have to clean everything off, wipe everything down.
Don't trust anything. Yeah. And it looks clean. It's beautiful, but we need to deal with this. So we need to get rid of them permanently, which means we need to treat it and we need to be there more.
Yeah.
So that was a conversation I had with Erica, is that we need to do both of those things. Mm-hmm. And so yesterday we were making plans. I have some ideas for the stairs to make them better. I have ideas for the mice. I have just all kinds of ideas. Is it going to take a year or two? Yes.
Yeah.
But we will make it happen. And so I really have had a great Mother's Day weekend without doing Mother's Day stuff.
That's good.
That's the best way to
go
put
against
it.
the grain.
And I got home yesterday from my appointment, and Rick was already grilling, had the grill going, heating up. He wasn't grilling anything yet, but he was heating it up, and he had seasoned all this stuff, and he had this whole plan. And not only did the whole plan be great food, but it was all healthy food.
Nice.
Because my blood pressure has been higher, so I have to apparently lose weight. Apparently, I'm a little thick, and it's causing problems with my blood pressure. Well, probably that and my kid. And so, and I thought he was really going to push back. He's very healthy naturally. God blessed him. And so he can eat anything, but he works so hard in the sun, it just burns off. And so he didn't have to worry about it. I do. I work at a computer. So he was like, well, when this happened, last week, when I was like, we got to take this serious. And he was like, yes, we do. Let's do this. So we meal planned last week really good. We came up with new recipes. We tried new things. Yesterday he went to the grocery store. I did not know he was going. I thought we were going out to dinner. I did not know. And everything he bought was healthy and delicious. We had dinner last night. I was blown away. He made multiple things he's never made for me before that were all very healthy and delicious. And then when we went grocery shopping today, he was like, no, you can't, don't eat this. Do eat this. Don't. And he does not give a rat's ass about my weight. Honestly, he likes me thick.
He just cares about your health, though.
He's worried about my health. And that means so much. Mm-hmm. That's really important because you need support to do this. And I know that's not how he wants to eat. And I know that he didn't have to eat like that, So, I even yesterday morning made breakfast and I called him up at the end of it. And I was like, do you want to come make the gravy? Because he has perfected the gravy making. He goes, no, if you can't eat it, I'm not making it. I was like, okie dokie, let's do it. That's cool. So it's going very good.
That's good.
I'm also down 6 pounds. Is that water weight? Possibly.
Don't matter. Everything counts.
I mean, everything. Anyway, so that's my weekend so far. I will say today's Mother's Day. I know it's past Mother's Day, but I got a little story because I have been divorced about 15 years. And in those 15 years, my ex-husband has had 2 wives since me. I was number 1. He's at number 2. He's now number 3. Number 2, not my favorite person. She can kick rocks. Hard rocks.
Bye.
I hope someone else kicks him too and they hit her in the head. But that's a different story. But number 3 is a very nice person. Y'all have heard me say this on Facebook. I mean, on Facebook and on. I've made it very clear on this podcast, Facebook, whatever. She is a nice lady. She's not my friend, but I don't dislike her. If she wasn't married to my ex-husband, we might be friends. I don't think she's necessarily. I think she's a real good fit for him. Mm-hmm. I was not. I think that's his soulmate, honestly. Anyways, my kids love her. But we've had a few bumps because of my ex-husband occasionally. And she went out and bought a gift for me from the kids. She let them pick a gift for me for Mother's Day. And then she was real sick this week. She went to the ER. She was so sick with the virus. Oh. And so the kids had told me, Holly's buying you a gift for Mother's Day. Like, she's doing this. And I was like, what? We've been divorced this long. I've never gotten a gift from my ex-husband's side, I should say, since the divorce. I think that's great co-parenting, but not necessary, not expected.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But getting it is amazing. It's an amazing feeling. So, like, you don't care if you don't get it, but when you do get it, you recognize the fact that it came from the ex-wife, not the ex-husband. And not, even though the kids picked it, the fact that she thought of it and insisted on it, which is what happened, and made it happen and procured the item and all that kind of stuff, was really kind and made me feel really good. And it also made me feel a little bit like shit because I didn't reciprocate.
Well, that's not what gifts are supposed to make you feel.
But I do think it's a step in the right direction. And so, you know, I'll talk about.
Yeah, I wish I was that nice, but I'm just not that nice.
But I think it takes time and understanding. I don't think that's something that's going to come out of the gate. And I mean, unless you're in the right place at the gate, maybe the gate's 10 years after the divorce. You know what I mean? I went through we divorced, and it wouldn't have been so messy with the second wife. She came in pretty early, and that created a problem. But he's not the drama starter. He will be involved in it, but he's not Number 2 was the starter. Number 3 is never the starter. She never starts it. She might be involved in it occasionally when he's like being a bit of a bud. She's a good person. She's a good mom, and she's a good stepmom, and she truly loves my children. You love your stepkids, but you don't have that relationship yet as a co-parent.
Yeah, we have.
Well, you're not a parent yet.
Me and their mother have no communication whatsoever. Yeah. I never talk to her. She doesn't have my number. We don't communicate. Like, we don't see each other. Nothing. So, and that's the way I like it.
And that's how it was with wife number 2 until she became a problem. And wife number 3, she went out of her way to make a relationship, and our best friends know, or, you know, but I think she likes me, and I like her. I don't think bad thoughts about her. Do I occasionally get mad? Yes, but it's typically something he put her up to. Like, I know him well enough, you know. But that's a different situation than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
like,
very different because, and for one, like, I'm not, like, I'm the new person in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
you were married to this man and y'all have kids. Okay.
Yes.
I was never married to Dante. We don't have kids. I don't have any kids. So
right.
I feel like I'm very much removed from the situation. Like, I don't have to be involved.
I don't think that's unhealthy. Honestly, I don't know that both kids will see the benefit of you yet, but when they're an adult, I think they're going to be like,
I hope
yeah,
so.
She was fun.
Because
my stepmom and I did not get along till we were 18, and by the time she passed away, and I was about 40, we were best friends.
Yeah. Me and Dante
I would count her as a
had
best friend.
this conversation the other day because we were talking about the fact my relationship with the kids, and because I'm not his daughter's favorite, and that's totally fine. I don't mind. And he was telling me the way to look at it is because his ex before me was just not a good situation, and she was very kind of not controlling, but she would very much put her
interfere
on the way that she should dress and the way that she should do her hair and this and that, and I just don't do that, and I don't interfere with her in any way. I don't try to parent her. I don't try to tell her how she should dress or how she should do her hair. I just stay out of it, and we don't have a really good relationship, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just she's a teenager. She doesn't care, you know.
Yeah,
and she has her own life. She has her own thing.
And
she has her
I
own
think
friends.
the fact that you're not pressing on her that she needs to A, call you some kind of mom name, B, be your best friend, C, respect your opinion on things regarding her clothes, things that are affecting her.
I don't get involved in it.
She's going to appreciate it. Now, is she appreciating it now? Maybe not, because she sees the time.
She just sees me as the other woman, though.
Yes.
And that's the way I guess you feel whenever it's your mom and your dad and they're not together anymore.
Yeah.
Anybody that comes into the situation is going to be the other woman, even though it's not like that.
Well, what's funny is with my stepmom, I really loved and cared for her till I was about 12, and we had a falling out because of my mom, quite honestly. We had a falling out, and between 12, 13-ish and 18 was very volatile. Very, very, I hated her. She hated me probably. And then at 18, she came to me as the adult and apologized and said, let's start over. She's been in my life since I was 1. We had an amazing relationship from 1 to 12, 13. I've really looked up to her my whole life. But that was a difficult stage. My mom definitely set part of the issues in that stage. I recognize that as a woman, and fuck, I said it,
It's okay. That's a little bit better.
20 minutes
we're
in, y'all.
shortening it.
20 minutes. But I look back now. She's been passed away now about 8 years, and she was my best friend, man. I love that bitch, man. I love her. I look up to her to this day. I emulate her. I look at her as a mother. I look at her as a best friend. I look at her as a badass. I quote her. I use her as reference to my children on how to be a good woman. Like, she was an amazing woman. Was she my mom? No. She was my best friend's stepmom. Mm-hmm. She was the first person to introduce me to Duran Duran. She was the first person to introduce me to Prince. She was the first person to introduce me into a lot of music aspects, and she would talk about it with me. And when I got in high school and I was listening to like random weird shit like Cure, Depeche Mode, which at the time was weird, and the Smiths and Morrissey, which I know who don't know who any of these people are probably. But she was like, is that who you're listening to? Let me listen. She'd listen. I like it. This is my favorite song.
That's cool.
And we had this bond. Clothes, like sisters. She was like, I found this. It's perfect for you. It was on sale. It was only $10. Like, she wasn't trying to show off money-wise.
Yeah.
It was truly, she got me as an adult. And I will say it's my best friend. And I will say it is she was a bad bitch, man. She was amazing. Zoe, my oldest, and her became best friends. And Zoe, if you ask her favorite grandparent, and she loves my dad, man, that girl loves my dad. If you ask her favorite grandparent, it was her step grandmother.
That's cool. And
when I told my kids that my mom passed away, they thought it was my stepmom, because they're both sick. They died within a year of each other. Both of them were 61. And when I told them my mom passed away, they all thought it was my stepmom, because they thought my stepmom was my mom, because my mom was sick their whole life, so they didn't spend a lot of time with her. Yeah. So the older two understood the difference. The younger two thought my stepmom was my mom.
Yeah.
So life changes is what I'm saying. And what is presented in the end, the person giving the love and giving the attention, and it doesn't have to be that you're taking away what her mother does, because Cindy never did. She always was like, your mother loves you. Your mother's funny. She would tell me, your mom's beautiful. She's funny. She's entertaining. My mom was fucking a bitch to her. She was horrible to her. Cindy stepped up. She was like, no, your mom's awesome. She was not always awesome.
Yeah.
But Cindy presented it that way. Mm-hmm. With Madison and I don't know her mom. I can't tell her anything about her mom. So I don't say anything negative or positive, because her mom's not really present in her life, which makes her not present in my life. So there's nothing to add there.
Yeah. Well, my stance on it is, especially because I'm coming in at such a hard time in their life, is that what I want to do is because, not to say that they're not my priority, but they're not. I'm not their mother, and I'm not their parent. So I focus on me and Dante's relationship and making sure that they see a healthy relationship between me and him, and make sure that they see their dad happy, and they make sure that they see that how I'm treating him, and how I dress myself, and how I carry myself. And I'm not trying to make them do anything, and for them to know that I'm going to be there. I'm going to be a pillar in this relationship and in that household. I'm going to help them keep that household going. I'm going to, show up day after day and be there.
You're consistent.
That's all I want to show them is what I can be. What the difference of, yes, I know that what y'all have seen in the past and what y'all have had to deal with in the past. Let me show you the difference, and what the difference that I can make, in your father and in y'all's lives. And then down the road, that they know that if there was ever a case, I'm somebody that they can come to. I'm somebody that they can go to if they can call on. If you're stuck at a party and you don't have anybody to call, you can call me and I'll come get you. Just like their dad, So that's all I want to do. I'm not trying to force any kind of relationship that they don't want. I just want them to know.
I feel like that's a step parent's job. Honestly. And I'm saying that as kind of a step parent to Madison. I've known her since she was a very young, 11 years, and she's a 19. So since she was 8, whatever. And I'm not, she has a mom. Maybe not a present mom, but she has a mom. And she has a grandma that does a lot of mom things, and it's good to her. She does not need another fucking mom.
No.
But she might need a fun stepmom.
Yep.
So my role is fun stepmom.
Yeah, that's all I can hope to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on their terms.
Yeah, I don't care what you wear. I don't care what you do, unless it's not your harming. If she was doing stupid shit, I would definitely care about harming herself. But she's smart and and a great kid, and so I think you're on the right track, and you may not feel the reward yet, but as a former stepchild and a current step-ish mom. I'm the fun girlfriend still.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's what I am. And that's
but I'm
what
11 years in on this.
Yeah.
And I tell her that all the time. And I'm going to tell you, I side with her. When Rick and her having any kind of issue, I 99% of the time side with her. And I'm like, you're right, girl. Tell him. In fact, tell him this too.
While you're at it.
And like, Rick is very, very conservative, and his mom's very conservative, and his mom's husband, his mom's husband. So her step grandpa, who she's very close to, and he's a great guy. He honestly is. I don't care for his mom, but she's a good grandma, and she loves Madison. She doesn't like me, but like as far as a grandma, she's nailing it, you know. And her husband is great. And they care and they invest in her. But there's a lot of like, what are you wearing? Why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
Which I understand that's parent things, but they're older and they don't understand.
It's generational things too. Like
they're off a generation. Yeah. And whereas I see her in a shorter top, it's not a crop top, but it's not a long top. It fits her and looks good. And she looked great. And I see her and I'm like, oh my God, you look so cute. Oh my God, let's go shopping. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
They're like, why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, let's get it. Like, polar opposite. And I'm the same with my girls too, though.
Yeah.
But it's generational difference. And I'm an older mom, but I still get it, you know? Mm-hmm. And so we can all bring something different to the table. Is that moral? You do not have to buy their mom a gift, though.
No.
And I never expected one from my kid's stepmom.
The thing is, it's a learning process. Like, you don't have to be a set anything for any amount of time. You evolve and you grow. I've never been in this situation before. Yeah. I've never dated a guy who has older kids.
Yeah.
So you're learning as you go, and you're doing what you're comfortable with doing, and then that might change down the road. I mean, we're only 3 years in here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, there's mine. But still, like, I'm not gonna stress about what am I not doing right, because that I don't feel like that's my place anyways.
And I don't think there is a right in this circumstance, because every circumstance is different. Mm-hmm. So the relationship between Dante and his ex-wife and her kids, and Dante and his kids, those are different than my relationship with my ex-husband, my relationship with his ex-wife. Mm-hmm. I mean, even between his second wife and his third wife, it's so dramatically different. The second wife created so much hostility and problems and drama and anxiety and mental health issues that the second wife, it's really hard for her to fuck up at this point. I'm constantly like, I don't like everything she does, but I definitely don't dislike her.
Yeah.
And so you know what? If their mom doesn't get it yet, that's fine. She hadn't experienced bad enough yet. And it's not your problem what she thinks.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think that she dislikes me. Like, but as I'm saying, like, there's nothing there. Like, there's nothing for me to go off of. Like, because we don't see each other, we don't talk. There's and
that's fine.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Like, that's
fine.
Totally fine.
Because that makes it neutral.
Yeah. And I like being Switzerland.
Yeah. I think Switzerland is a great place to be.
I mean,
I've been Switzerland for years.
I love being Switzerland.
Yeah. I have.
Ask me. I don't know.
Not my problem. But you want a fun time? I'll do that.
Just over here. You want to go to the beach?
You want to paint your face? Let's go. You want to go buy a cute dress? Let's go. Your mom wants to take you for that dress? Y'all should go.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, you get it. So that's our Mother's Day rant on co-parenting.
There you go.
And a little shout out to my kid's stepmom for being a really good stepmom. She really is. Like, she's a good stepmom. Is she perfect? Probably not. Am I perfect? Definitely not. So that's
Am I
cool.
perfect? Yes.
Well, me too. Now that we talk about it, I'm not perfect. I fuck up often. The next one is okay, Kelly. This is what's up. Moving back in with Dante. You gonna talk about?
I kind of touched on it the other day because I was talking about moving out and moving into my little tiny home / RV was very much. It was just seeing how it would go. It was what do you call that? It was trial. It was trial and error, because when I'm dealing with my mental health, everything I do is trial and error. That's just how I see it. Like, we put things on my plate, we take things off my plate, to see, kind of like the hugging thing. I've taken that off my plate of things that I'm doing to see how it's going to affect me in the long term. And I just take it day by day, seeing what I can do and what's working, what's not working. So I figured out that the going back and forth of being at Dante's house and going to the RV and then like spending the time alone, I really liked it. But at the same time, it was creating a lot of stress for myself, just going back and forth. And I had stress at Dante's house, obviously the stresses that I was dealing with there. But then it's like I created more stress. So I still had the stress there, but then I had the stress of going back and forth and the stress of living on my own. Yeah. So it just, it was too much.
You didn't alleviate anything. You
it
just
really
added.
It seemed like it did. Like I could tell it was helping in a way because I liked that, but it wasn't enough. It didn't outweigh it. So I was like, okay, this just isn't working. So I told Dante, I was like, I talked to him about how I was like, I think I'm going to be moving just back in with you. And he's like, oh, you do love me. I was like, oh my God. And that made me feel bad. But I was like, of course, there was never that I didn't love you, which he knew that. But I didn't really notice how much it really kind of did affect him, because he just was very much whatever
Rick
you need.
Could not have handled that.
He was very much whatever you need. You do what you need to do. He's very supportive, but I could tell that he was kind of putting his feelings on the back burner because he wanted me to get out whatever I was getting out of it. And
can we just name him Super Dante?
He really
Can
is.
we just? I mean, he really is
I've never been with somebody like Dante. I've never even known somebody like Dante before.
I have never known anyone like him either, because I'm not that understanding.
I wouldn't be either. And that's why when I was thinking about moving out and have kind of separating myself from the situation, I was very worried because I didn't know how he was going to take it. Because me, I would have been like,
and he took it like
what?
a fucking pro.
No. And then he's like, why are you so worried? You don't have to worry about these things. And having that stability to me is just mind boggling, because it's almost like a too good to be true kind of situation. And then I find myself just like, don't go down that road. Don't think that it's too good to be true. It can be true. But of course, then we still think that he's a serial killer, and the jury's still out on that.
I mean, is that a bad thing?
You know what? I'm at the point where it's like, don't ask, don't tell kind of situation.
Knowing him, he's killing people that need to die.
Probably so. He's definitely a vigilante of some sort.
I mean, it's not evil.
It's not. So I'm like,
Does he need a list? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, if you want to slip me one, I'll just leave it on his bedside table, like things to consider. But it's just, so that's what's going on right now. I've moved back in with Dante, and so I'm not living apart from him anymore. And so we're just going to go from there. Like I was saying, it's a learning process.
I told Kelly, I was like, let's just build. It
lasted a whole 2 months.
As if I'm doing this. Let's just build. A she shed for you in the back, or park an RV back there. So when you need a mental break, which I totally get.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think that would be a good idea. He has plenty of room on his little plot of land that he has that we could put a shed out there or something, and I could just do it up. And
don't think it's a bad idea.
I think it's smart.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. So I'm happy for you. This sounds good.
Thanks.
Would you like to take your mirror from my living room now?
I know. I still have that mirror in your living room.
It's been there about a year now.
We can get it. I have to use.
I will use it.
Yeah,
I will see the inside of your house for the first time. I've dropped Kelly off at her house a few times. This is crazy to people probably. I've never been inside Kelly's house.
Nobody has.
I've been into the RV, but I've been into her last house. And that's all the houses, I think.
I think it's because it's, in my mind, it's Dante's house. And so I don't invite people over.
But you have to stop thinking that way.
I know, but
your house.
I like thinking this way, and I'm a very private person, and anyways, and so when I take how private I am, and then I take how private Dante is, then it's like double private, and so I never invite people over or have people over because that's his space, and it's my space too, but. It's just, I don't know. I like it like that, though. Anytime I do anything with anybody, it's me going. Well, my first,
since Rick moved in, my first, form, having people over is for Zaylee's graduation party next week. No, wait, next week. The weekend after next. 2 weeks from now. And here's the deal. My house is 100 years old. We have 3, you know this.
Yeah.
We have 3 bathrooms. We have the bathroom in my son's room downstairs. We have the bathroom in my daughter's room downstairs. Those are all original rooms to the house. Well, I'll take that back. There was no original rooms to the house because it's 100 years old. There was bedrooms. They made bathrooms in those 2 bedrooms. There's no half bath. So we're going to have this big party. People come for her graduation. There's no bathroom downstairs.
Yeah.
So my daughter has a dog that stays in her room primarily, little tiny dog. And we have cats. And we have 1 cat that can't go outside, 1 cat that can. So my idea was we're going to lock the dog in the bathroom in her room and lock the cat in the bedroom in her room. So we don't have to worry about anyone letting those 2 animals out. So we're going to shut that part of the house off.
Right.
Which leaves my son's room for the bathroom.
Oh, Lord.
He is relatively clean minus the toilet situation. Our house is 100 years old. For some reason, his toilet, the only the first toilet added to the house in the time of toilets, gets occasionally stopped up for no reason. But my daughter's room, we got to put the animals somewhere. And that's where the animals used to. That's where it needs to go.
Yeah.
My room's upstairs. My room's always perfect. The bathroom, not perfect, but it's always pretty clean. And the bathroom's always pretty clean. But do people want to go upstairs? Can my dad go upstairs? No. So we have 2 bathrooms. This is so ridiculous. We have to worry about this. But I have 2 teenagers downstairs with the main bathrooms. I won't use their bathrooms. They're teenagers' bathrooms. So I'm like, we have a party coming. We got to clean. We got to do this. We got to do that. You know what I mean? I am stressing about the stupidest shit about this stupid ass party.
Well,
I say stupid. It's not stupid. It's a big deal.
It is.
But I mean,
it comes with a lot of stress though when you're
when
you're entertaining.
Yes. And then I invited all these people. I invited my best friends. You were invited. My best of friends. Woo-hoo. And you actually, unless you have a sibling graduating, you have to come because Zaylee said that's the only excuse.
No, I'm coming. I already put it on my calendar.
Okay,
we're good.
So we're planning all this stuff, and every time we talk about it, we get a little more stressed out, and I feel like I'm stressing her out. I'm trying to do planning on the side so she doesn't know about it. So we had to order these graduation invitations, and then we had to order these graduation pictures. And then I was like, okay, we're going to put those in that envelope and whatever. And then I found a thing for a banner, happy graduation for the party, and I ordered it. And it showed up today, and she found it, and that started anxiety.
Uh-oh.
The banner did. Where are we going to put it?
Oh no.
I have no anxiety in life. I am so carefree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm that bill will get paid. It's no problem.
It's going to happen. It's fine.
Meanwhile, my kid is worried about, are we using ketchup or mustard on our hot dog? Overthinking it. And that's the case with this banner. It's got my name on it. Where are we going to put it? How are we going to hang it? What are you going to use? Have you bought the products to hang it?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Every single detail.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot. But we're getting there. We're 5 days from her last day of school.
Oh my gosh, it's coming.
Thank you, Jesus.
And she's still alive. I'm so happy.
I mean,
I'm so proud of you, Zada.
I'm proud of me too. Today she cleaned out her closet for the summer, and I'm working on mine in the middle of it. I have clothes everywhere. And we're sorting through things, and it's a coming to the end of everything.
Yeah.
You're sorting through your clothes from high school?
Yeah, that's intense. That's a lot.
It's crazy. And I thought this day would never come.
But here
when you have special needs kids, you put a lot of energy into them. So I just felt, I have to say, while we're talking about Zaylee, I listened to all our podcasts. So I listened to last week's episode and I laughed. I've listened twice, actually. Not the whole thing twice, but I have listened to it twice, aspects of both times. I called myself Zaylee in our last podcast. Did you catch it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I told Zaylee, do you think Kelly caught it? She was like, how could she not?
Yeah, I definitely did.
Okay.
And I remember I didn't know what you were talking about.
When it happened, I caught it. But I thought I was mistaken. I thought I did not do that. It was in my head. Because I have done that for the last 20-something years of being a mom. I have called my kids by the wrong name so many damn times.
I think that's definitely a mom thing. Because my mom would do that too when she was yelling out in the house. If she was calling somebody, she had to go through every single one of our names. She'd be
all
like, Amy,
Z's.
Casey, Kelly, whoever you are.
All my kids are Z's, so it makes it more confusing. Zaylee's the only one that really looks like me, I have called Zaylee Zada before. And it's been an ongoing joke for years that I called her Zada.
I'm pretty sure I've heard you do that before.
It's the first time I've ever called me Zaylee. And I heard myself say it and thought I misheard myself.
Yeah, you definitely did.
And then I heard it and I was like, bless my heart.
Yeah.
I have morphed.
Get your button, girl.
Wrong one.
Bless your heart.
But wait, why did that not work?
I don't know. You broke it already.
Yeah. No, it didn't work.
Oh,
I got a second one. But yeah, bless my heart because I did it and I caught it and I have laughed. I even played it for my coworker. I was like, did you hear this shit? They're like, yeah, I didn't want to say
Did you hear what
anything.
I just did?
So I apologize, everybody. I am completely sane. She
This
looks just like me.
It is. It's a copy paste situation.
It is a copy paste situation, and she dresses like me, and she emulates me,
Yep.
and she adores me. I mean, I can't say my kid doesn't adore me, and she wants to be me, and so I get why I get confused. But it is the very first time I've ever called myself by her name. She does have a great name.
It is complete.
Yeah, so y'all are welcome for that. It's recorded. Where are we? What's
Gone
that?
down in history.
Oh my God, I heard it and I've listened to it twice now, and I was like, I am so ridiculous.
Oh yeah. I wanted to touch on that. I know I haven't talked about girls' night on here for the last couple of times.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because there hasn't been a girls' night in a couple of weeks. That's going along with me kind of trying to take a step back on being overstimulated because I very much am. And I know going out entails a lot. You have to talk to people, you have to hug people, you have to entertain people, and that it really takes it out of me. That's on my list of things to do for therapy because it's supposed to help me get out of my comfort zone and help me build on social skills and that,
But if you're
this and
not
that.
there right now, you're not there.
And I'm usually really good at it. I'm a pretty good entertainer. I like going out with my friends. I like to sing karaoke. I like, it doesn't bother me. Some of my friends ask me if I, get nervous when I sing, and I'm like, no, I never get nervous when I sing because it's something I love to do so much.
Yeah.
And so being in a social situation and doing all that, it makes me feel good that I can do that.
Yeah.
But for now, when I'm not wanting to hug and stuff, it makes it harder to go out because you see all these people that are, expecting you to be Kelly. They're expecting me to be on, and I just don't feel like I'm on right now. And if they see that I'm not hugging and I feel like they're like, well, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to go into all
when
that.
they take it personal, they overread it as if it's about them when it's really about you.
Yeah. And I've had that problem already with friends being like, not understanding why I need to take steps back and not hug. And they're like, well, that upsets them. And I'm like, sorry that it upsets you, but it has nothing to do with you. And if you're going to be upset over the fact that I'm not reaching out or I'm not communicating or I'm not hugging, well, then you're just going to have to get happy in the pants that you got mad in because I have enough that I'm dealing with right now. So I'm glad that my friends understand it. Like my really good friends, they understand and they don't need any kind of explanation for it. They're not going to, well, why are you doing this? They're just like, okay, whatever you need, and that's how you need to be. You don't need to worry about if somebody's dealing with mental health issues or they're dealing with overstimulation issues, the last thing you need to do is just hound them about why.
But I think that oftentimes, if you've never experienced it, I feel like I had training with Zaylee, and she trained me on this because it's so out of my realm. Do I now get overstimulated? Yes.
You realize
I didn't recognize it before Zaylee, so I definitely do.
Yeah.
But I did not before her. So now I recognize. So when you get overstimulated, you don't have to tell me. I usually get it because, and I get over. Like, it's a real thing for
I think
people.
a lot of people do. They just don't understand what it is.
Yeah. So when people are not, I'm not a people person. No,
Yeah.
you have a stimulation issue.
Yeah. And you
Because
just
you have
have
people say that all the time.
Yeah, and you just have to figure out what you need to do to combat that. Like, because I want to be social. I like having friends.
Yeah.
I like having a boyfriend. I like being in a relationship. But even my boyfriend overstimulates me.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out what is it that you can do to make it a healthy relationship and
like,
to have healthy friendships.
Sally was definitely overstimulated before I came today. Like I said, she was struggling with me coming, and Rick was about to leave to his mom's to take her Mother's Day gift and to see his daughter. And she was going to be home alone with her brother for about an hour and a half. And she was really struggling with it. And he's a natural joker and teaser. That's just what Rick does. So he's giving her a hard time,
Yeah.
I was like, listen, you giving her a hard time right now is giving me a hard time because I have to pick up the pieces, and I'm trying to get the podcast recorded and then get home and do this and this, and you need to do this and this. But instead, let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to spend that evening dealing with her. You need to take this serious. When she says she's overstimulated, she is truly overstimulated. It means something. It's real. He does get it better than he used to get it, but he doesn't always take hints.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be like, red flag, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
Which is what I did today. I was like, listen, dude, if you're not going to fix it, then shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because he's like teasing her. Girl, you got this, whatever. In 1992, I ran up a mountain and saved a billy goat with just a pocket knife. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
You're not helping right now.
You're not helping. You're making my life
Because now she's
harder.
gonna be like, "What happened to the billy goat?"
Yes, and now he gets it more than he used to get it. We still have hiccups occasionally, but overall he gets it more. But in the beginning, he did not get it until he experienced Zaylee. And I'll be honest, I didn't get it until I experienced Zaylee. She taught me so much about the real world. I mean, I've said it a million times. I thought I was the best fucking parent until I had Zaylee. Then I realized I just had a really easy kids.
Right.
And not good kids. I'm not using the word good. They were good. But they were easy. Zaylee's a good kid. She's just not easy.
Yep.
And those are two different things. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not about me. And it wasn't about something I did. And I was, and so.
You just had to add to your arsenal of parenting skills.
Are they perfect? No. Am I cussing more? Yes. Do I say shit people don't understand? Oftentimes.
Oh, well, it's okay.
But I do get messages, and I will read one for you.
Yay. We love messages.
Okay, listen. I'm not going to name names. Her name's Michelle. I'm not going to put her last name with her, but it's a listener. Michelle, you know who you are. And she put, she had a little conversation with me. She sent me a message saying Happy Mother's Day and a few other things.
Aw.
And she sent me a few other little funny things. She's like, this reminds me of y'all, And so she put, thank you, Zada. My kids don't ever want me to share a picture of them online, but I'll share a photo with you. And her kids are grown. That's some restraint on her part. Because, we're all like, oh my God, my kids are the cutest thing ever.
Look at this.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing your family stories because I seriously can relate. And it feels so good to know that there are other moms out there like me who are doing their best and want to have fun along the way. And that is exactly what we're going for here.
Yep.
And our kids are not perfect, and we're not acting like they're perfect, and we are not perfect, and we're not acting like we're perfect. And we don't have to be a perfect stepmom in your case, or a perfect stepmom in my case, or a perfect mom in my case, or a perfect girlfriend, or anyone perfect. And so I read that, and I was like, Michelle gets us.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put my flaws out there.
Yep. We're just raw and real.
Yeah, not everyone likes it. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. We did get a really good little.
Not even for myself some of the times, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, who the heck are you? What are you doing? Shut up and sit down.
I can definitely be an asshole. We also got a comment from a listener, which is a listener that I might have made him a listener. I came into Al's to record, and I was recording with Al. I don't think I was recording with you yet.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah.
Was it you?
No,
both.
Yeah, it was one of those days you recorded both in one day. So you recorded with him and then went home and came back to record with me.
Okay. So I got here to record with him, and there was the table of ladies that I know and I'm friends with, and then a table of a gentleman in their normal seat. Like that's where they normally sit. So he's listening to everything they're saying. Like you can tell he's paying attention, and they're funny girls. Like they're real funny. And so we all start talking, and I tell him while I'm there that I'm there to record. I'm about to record with Al, and then about both podcasts. And he was like, well, I'll listen. And my wife will listen. He homeschools. He's an ex-Mormon, and he has a pretty interesting story. And so I was like, yeah, you need to listen. It's definitely not for everybody. If you have a problem with cussing or like moms that are like, fuck you to their kids, this is not your podcast.
We'll just tell you right now.
He's also a teacher.
Yes.
And he was like, no, I want to listen to this. Okay. And so he left us a review.
Yes, he did.
Do you have it pulled up?
He left us a 5-star review on our Apple Podcast reviews. It says Ron P. And it says, this podcast is not appropriate for the classroom, but it is appropriate for all other settings and social situations. Trust me.
I love that.
Thank you so much. That sums us up so well.
I know. And I have a new coworker, kind of new. He's been with the company for a number of years, and he just got moved to my location. So it's the first time we've worked together in the same location. But I have helped his location in the past, and he's a boss. He's above me. And we have a good relationship. He's a great guy. And so he was like, I mentioned the podcast to him the other day, and he was like, you have a podcast? Tell him about it. He goes, I'm going to listen to it. And I said, yeah, your wife will probably enjoy it more than you. But I don't know where she is on it, but he's been listening to it, and he's been giving me feedback, and he is in it. And it's cracking me up how much in it he is. And so the other day I said, he's talking about something about it. And I was like, yeah, Chris, my other coworker / boss, walks by. I said, he listens to it too. I said, but he didn't always listen like up to date. And I said, Chris, which one are you on? He was like, I'm on the one where Kelly got hit on at the wedding. But the other guy's not on that one yet. And he was like, which one is that? I want to hear that one.
That was a good one.
I was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. My family, bless our hearts. But it is cool to like hear their takes on it and such.
Yeah, I love it when men listen to the podcast.
I do too, man.
So
I do too, because the men that listen to podcasts are men that want to understand women and enjoy women.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Rick to death, but he didn't give a fuck. He would listen if he thought it was going to help him, but he's like, it's going to piss me off probably, so I'm just not going to listen. But even if it wasn't me, if it was just some Joe Blow girl, no, this is not his cup.
No.
He ain't doing this shit.
Nuh-uh.
So when there's a man that's like man enough to like be like, I'm not that he's not man enough. It's a different kind of man. But there's a man that's like, hey, I'm willing to listen to this. Mm-hmm. And like Ron, I mean, he's married with multiple children. And that he's willing to like take from it.
Yeah.
I love, that's exactly what we're going for.
You know what I want? I want to do another one where we call a guy to get guys' perspectives and like guy code.
I do too.
Because I really enjoyed that.
I did too. That was funny with Brad.
Because as much as
I would like to put this out. Brad and his girlfriend got back together.
I mean, yay!
Yay! And then I told Rick about them breaking up, and they go to like a party for Rick's nephew for his birthday party, and Rick's like, I heard y'all broke up, and he was like, yeah, da da da, and it was just a few days later, but he didn't give details because Rick's not a good reporter. He didn't ask questions. And so he was like, he didn't tell anyone. I was like, you didn't ask. It was real easy on the podcast. He put it on the fucking podcast. Like he knew it was going on.
All you had to do was ask some questions.
No one asked. Now, can I ask? Probably not.
No.
Brad, just text me and tell me what's up.
Yeah.
But they got back together, which is great because she's wonderful. We like her. As if it's anything to do with me and he gives a rat's ass. But for my part, I like her.
That's good.
And she's outgoing and funny and fun. And Me Too. So good. But they got back together. And so Zaylee knew they got back together because I randomly told Zaylee, and she listened to a lot of the podcasts. And so she knows this. And Madison did not. Madison really likes the girlfriend. They went and got their nails done together. Rick's daughter. She's liking this kind of aunt-ish person. And so she knew they broke up. And then they went to get their nails done together yesterday, you know, because the situation. And she was like, no, they got back together. And they've been back together since right after they broke up. So it's been a few weeks.
It was just like a flip-flop kind of thing.
It was, we just got in there at the right moment.
I guess so.
And so Zaylee's like, no, they got back together. Madison was so excited. And she was like, this is not real. How do I not know? And so we have dinner last night at my house. Rick grilled for us and we have dinner. And Madison's like, is it true they're back together? I was like, yeah. She's like, how does Zaylee know before me? That's my uncle.
That's how we must have just got in just at the right situation to where we got that information.
Right. And Brad loves me. Brad and I have a great relationship. I love Brad. I mean, he's my besides his grandma's on his dad's side's pretty awesome. But Brad is my favorite relative of the bunch. I think he appreciates me the most.
Yeah.
And
he has a really good attitude too.
He's awesome.
He's fun and he's funny and he's not too like rough around the edges.
If Rick could like take a little bit of that like lightheartedness from him, it'd be awesome. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Birth order is definitely playing a part in this situation.
Oh yeah. Because isn't he the baby?
He's the baby and Rick's the oldest. And Rick is dad as far as he's concerned. He's gonna tell everybody what to do and how to do it. And I am middle child, typical middle child, making everybody happy and mediator.
I am typical baby.
Definitely.
I'm definitely.
It's so true. Birth order, man.
It really makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
And I was the favorite, so I'm sorry.
I was not. Rick is.
I'm the self-proclaimed favorite.
Rick says Brad was the favorite until the last few years. And I believe it, to be honest with you. I wish he wasn't the favorite, but he is. What are you going to do? Look at us rambling. We're an hour. I did want to talk quickly about my birds for people that are following me on Facebook because I have a lot of media followers. I told Kelly we don't have to talk about this. It's not a big deal.
You need to update the birds for sure.
But
tell them what happened.
Okay. For those not following, we had I got a new planter, a hanging plant. And within a few days of getting it, like literally less than a week, there was a nest in it. And a dove laid 2 eggs. And so I've been following these 2 eggs since the dove got there and laid them. And then they were hatched. And I didn't know that this is weird for me and so country. I did know that there are some birds that are like life partners. And I did not realize it was dove, and I've killed and eaten many a dove, and I did not know that.
Oh,
but dove are life partners, and so I had this doves that had these eggs, and they would switch spots for each other all day. So if one was out eating or doing whatever they needed to do, the other one would babysit the eggs, and so the eggs were never really alone. And then the eggs hatch, and they were really never alone. I scared them off one time. That's the only way I got a picture, not on purpose. It was accidental. I was spraying them. I didn't know they existed, and I was spraying the water on the plant, and I realized there was actually live birds, so I stopped. And then Rick would do it, and Mom would like cover them with her wing, or Dad, I don't know, cover them with their wings so they didn't get wet while you were wet. We were careful about it though. Anyway, so the last few weeks we've been watching these, birds, move on. And the birds hatched, and then Mom and Dad continued to feed them, and then they got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. In the last few days, they've been like acting like they might try to fly. Well, I read it takes 4 days for them to fly. Like they might fall on the ground thinking they can fly, and then not actually fly, and they have to live on the ground for 4 days.
Oh,
well, I have a cat that I let out.
Yeah,
and that cat likes birds. So out of fear that my cat was going to eat this bird, so we had to put the cat inside. You're not allowed outside.
Yep.
Cat was not a fan of that. So I've been watching these birds like crazy. And this morning, one took off.
Really?
Yes. And I missed it, I think, by minutes. Like literally, I was out there nonstop. I was cooking breakfast, going and looking, cooking lunch, going and looking, cleaning house, going and looking. So I realized it was missing, and I was like, oh my God, it's gone. So after about 2 hours after it was gone, 3 hours after it was gone, the second baby was out there, and the mom and dad returned. And it's the first time I've ever seen the mom and dad in the same nest.
Oh.
And I got video of them because I am a dork. And the baby is begging them for food, like going to their mouth and like pecking their mouth looking for a worm or whatever.
Where's my food?
Yeah, and they're like, no, girl, you got to fly.
You're going to have to get out of here.
Yeah.
It's time to go get your own home.
Yes, and this one is like, no, I can't leave yet. And they're not playing. And I got video. I will post it. And so finally, I right before I left the house, I go out and then the whole plant's gone. The whole plant. And I'm like, where's the plant? Rick moved it. And I'm thinking he moved it, worried. We were so worried about the strays or Obi eating the bird that maybe moved it somewhere safe. No, it had flown off.
Wow.
Never got eaten. I've looked. There's no evidence anything got it. I think the parents got it to where it needs to be. So it's just, now he was just watering the plant and he moved it into some water. And they took off. And
I'm so proud.
I'm not going to lie. I was invested in these fucking birds. Because the fact that the mother and father were active in their lives and that they mate for life and that they came back to teach it how to fly. Yeah. So I got video of the daddy bird or mommy. In my head, it's the daddy teaching them how to fly, like taking off. It's probably the mom, to be honest. Taking off and coming back to the nest, trying to show it how to fly. And they did not take 4 days. They learned to fly their first day.
Oh, I'm so proud of them.
I am too.
And on Mother's Day.
I know, right?
So fitting.
I know. It was very sweet.
I'm so proud.
So that's all I got. What you got?
I love it. I think that's a healthy note to end on.
Yeah, go birds.
Go birds.
I will say really quick on a animal aspect, my daughter, who is a cat collector, and she was inches away from being a crazy cat lady. I think she's officially sealed the deal at this point because I think when you hit 3 cats, you're officially a crazy cat lady.
Oh, really?
No one take offense.
Sorry. I'm not calling anybody out.
So she has 2 cats. One is named Fred Durst after Fred Durst because she loves Limp Bizkit. The second one is Clyde after Bonnie and Clyde. So she texted me like 2 days ago and she was like, there is a one-eyed black cat on my roof and it will be mine. And I was like, don't do it.
Don't do it.
I can already see vet bills. You have enough cats. Don't do it. She was like, Mom, it's got one eye. It's probably seeing double vision and it's sad and I'm going to do it.
He is surviving. He is a survivor. He's doing just fine.
And I'm like, don't do it. And she was like, it's too late. I'm in it. She's not even fucking around. It's too late, Mom.
Too late.
This is happening. And she was like, I feel like you're trying to kill my joy. I love this kid. And so I'm like, don't do it. So she does it.
Of course.
She sends me a cat of this one-eyed black cat.
She sends you a cat?
It clearly in her house in the picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you got it. She goes, I did. And she goes, I got a vet that's going to see it on Tuesday. I got all these plans. I'm keeping with my other cats. She's like, tell me. And it's all responsible behavior. And she goes, and I've come up with a few name options. And she goes to the name options. I don't remember all of them. But one of them is Juan, like the name Juan, like the Hispanic name Juan.
Yeah. That's a good
one.
One eye.
Her other cats are Clyde and Fred.
Yeah.
And one eye. One eye. So I told my son Zol on the way to Walmart last night. I told him I told him the whole story. And then I told him the name. And I swear he laughed for 2 hours. He would come find me to laugh. He was like, this is the best name I've ever heard. I said, the best part is it's funny as Juan. That's funny alone. But it's one eye.
Oh, I approve.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm a grandma again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You're welcome. I hope she has enough money for her next pet deposit because I want to be no part of that.
Oh, gosh.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's all
for this episode.
You got it all, guys.
So y'all come back and join us for the next one, and we'll tell you what's up.
And remember, there's always what is there? There's always 3 sides to every story.
That's right. There's 3.
There's always 3 sides to every story.
There is
2 sides and the truth.
You're not even drinking.
You guys.
You're not even drinking.
I know it's worse when I'm telling you. I'm worse when I'm not. Like.
I mean, understand me, but not you right now. That's it. Y'all come join us for the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.